Listen, if you're a guitar player and you can play songs to the end, but they kind of sound boring, or you're doing the same strum over and over again, or your chords all sound the same, this lesson is for you. We're going to dive into the board today, and we're going to take a quick look at what makes songs sound repetitive, boring, kind of the same, and how you can fix it. So stick around to the end. If we haven't met before, my name is Dave Donoghue. I am a guitar teacher. I've been an educator for 23 years. I've taught over 1,000 students how to sing and play guitar. And I have a coaching diploma in mind coaching. So I'm big on the thinking and approach to guitar, because I believe that how we think about our playing and practice and how we approach our playing and practice is what makes the difference in how well we get the results we want on guitar. So here we go. First things first, I am going to draw this. This guy plays guitar. This girl plays guitar. Now, here's the thing. A lot of times we get to a song and we play the song. And we get to the end of the song and it's like a tick. We get it. It's done. But generally we will feel unfulfilled with the ending of the song for a couple of reasons. One, it might not sound right. Two, we did the same strum pattern again. Three, we're using G, E minor, C and D with the capo. Something real quick. I have my guitar program that's opening next month again. It's a 90-day intensive. If you're a guitar player who you have songs and skills, but they just don't sound complete, that you can strum all the way to the end of a song and you don't feel like you're playing as musical, we're going to focus on the 1 to 3 new skills you could unlock in your playing that will transform your entire song list. If you want more info about it, you'll find it in the information document below this. Let's keep going. And the reality is, if you're using G, E minor, C and D or open chords on a ton of your songs, like if we take a look here, if you have 10 songs and if they all contain this bunch of well-known chord groupings, G, D, B minor, A, with capo, it actually doesn't matter, because the voicings are the same. Voicings meaning that if I play G, E minor, C and D for one song, and then I just place a capo up high on the neck and I play G, E minor, C and D for my next song, or the same bunch of chords rearranged a different way, it's going to sound the same. They're the same voicings. And that's why that feeling of I'm not making progress comes up for players. Because at the end of the day, you're looking down at your hand and you're going, okay, yeah, it's a new song. I can't believe the Beatles used G, C, D and E minor. And I'm learning this Ed Sheeran song and he's using G, C, D and E minor. So how do you fix it? Well, a common thing that players do, the first phase out of this is they add bar chords. They think, well, these are boring because they're all open chords, so I'm going to learn bar chords. And I don't know about you, but you either remember the bar chord journey or you're on it. takes a while, right? Key chords, B minor, you'd have F, you'd have F sharp minor. They're generally the first 3 bar chords to go and tackle if you want to like get 1 degree away from all this sort of boring open chord stuff over time. Now, think of what we're talking about here. We're talking about one hand. And I love to simplify stuff. And that's what I do with students. This is your chord hand, your fretboard hand. We're tackling this one first. Now, we've cycled through. You have your bunch of chords, the classic keys. The voicings are all the same, meaning that the G minor, C and D down lower up high, you can hear the sound of a G chord and an E minor chord over a long enough time period. So then players try and fix it with some bar chords, but guess what? Enough time goes by and you hit the same wall again. Now there's a few different options here. From this point, you can do what are called power chords. I won't get into them in this lesson, but they're kind of like rock chords, right? And obviously if I say rock, you might think, don't think I can use these chords in all my songs. That's correct. But it's just another variation. And at the end of the day, if you're on specific open chords, you're on bar chords, or you're on power chords, now you have 3 different ways to vary what you're doing on guitar. But oftentimes players get to this stage where they go, well, I think I looked up this song and it's G, E minor, C and D again, or it's the same chords again. I put a capo on, but it sounds the same. And oftentimes you're going to see players play in front of others and people will tune them out. Not intentionally, but they just won't be as engaged with the music. And a part of the reason for that is because the music is not entertaining enough, engaging enough, or expressive enough. People's ears, whether or not they play guitar or ever played, if they keep hearing these same chords over and over and over again, some people's ears are going to tune out. And I had this conversation in a lesson lately. A student asked, well, what about Ed Sheeran? He's done pretty alright for himself, playing open chords, going around the world and writing songs. And that brings us to our next point. That's one half the equation. The other half is your pattern hand. Let's zoom in here. Also known as our strumming or finger picking. So, when it comes to these, think of it this way now. You could be a player who's done a song and you can choose open chords, you can choose bar chords, you can use power chords, and after a while you'll still keep coming back to the same stuff. But now, if you come over here, your pattern hand is where things can come alive. And I'll grab the guitar in a sec. So, your pattern hand, you could do a strum pattern, and you can vary the pattern, and I'll give you an example of a song. Oops, excuse the writing. You can vary the pattern and you can do fills. And you can do the same for finger picking. Now, I'll grab my guitar. So, with strumming, I hope this guitar is in tune. With strumming. So just imagine this. I'm playing G minor, C and D. Same old stuff. But if I go like this now, if I go, it's more varied. But if I start my next song and I just go, it's starting to sound the same again. So no matter if I change the types of chords, I use the same rhythm, the more variation you can build into your guitar playing. It's not even about being able to do cool stuff. It's about being able to have complete freedom and flexibility on the fretboard, that you choose and you decide what you actually want to be able to execute on guitar. So with the strum pattern, that's one. And I mentioned fills. So if I go like this, here, now a fill will always occur at the end of a measure here. Then it gets a little bit more entertaining. Think of fills as drum fills. If a drummer was just doing drum fills and solos all the way through a song, it doesn't suit. The bass, the solidness has gone out of the foundation of the strum. But if they put it at the end, that's where it fits best. And it's the same for us with strum fills. Now, the second thing you can do is, instead of just strumming all the time, you can finger pick. Now, those are chord voicings. I actually played C, D, E minor there. So instead of going like this, I went. Get the picture? So, with all the flexibility you can add in, that's what allows you to choose more and do more on guitar. Now, to bring this lesson home. Let me know what your biggest takeaway is below in the comments. I'd love to see. The way I teach, I generally will teach more from a board and teach more for approach and thinking and systems and simplifying steps, rather than just bang out some chords. I definitely feel there's any amount of that on the internet. This is something to try different for a change. So here's your little mission. Take a song that you can already play and that you're bored of the chords. It could be open chords, it could be using a capo, and see if you can play an open chord song. If you have bar chords, see can you change the song to bar chords. If you've been using G, E minor, C and D for the song, look up how to transpose a song. That means that you can still play the song but just with a different group of chords. Simply Google how to transpose a song. Finally then, if you have some power chords, you can play a rock version. Now, one big mistake that players make around this is that they'll try and change too many things at once, get overwhelmed, and go back to what they were doing. So imagine you approach this and you go, cool, I'm going to change everything. One bit at a time. I'd start with chords, chord voicings. And then after that, you can get into some finger picking patterns or strumming patterns. But remember, anything you want to change, you're going to need to change it with the skill set that you already have. If I'm trying to make brand new chord shapes and I'm trying to do this brand new finger picking pattern, there's too much going on and I won't get either. And then I'll think the song is way too hard. So keep one hand simple so you can get something into the other hand. Depends which hand you want. All right, hope you enjoyed this video. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And I have info, if you want to work together, I have info on my guitar program below. It's the Guitar Precision System. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.